Here's another episode of Neurotics. I've been thinking about a lot of things, and the question always remains, what did you want to do when you grew up? For me, I had so many different ideas of what I wanted to be. At one point, I wanted to be a stand-up comedian, which obviously that came to fruition a couple times. I know I wanted to do something to make people laugh. So, and then, there was a period of time where I wanted to be a screenwriter, and I wanted to be a filmmaker, and that's still kind of the dream. It's really weird because I remember I told my parents I wanted to go to film school, and they said, "All right, we'll take care of that, but you got to get a degree in something else first." So I did. I got a degree in journalism, and once I got that degree, I was like, "Hey, film school. What about it? What are we doing?" And they were like, "We know nothing." That was pretty much the reaction. We don't know what we don't know what you're talking about. So, and while I was in college, I wrote a couple screenplays. I wrote one about addiction. Surprise, surprise. But the surprise there was that I had no idea. I had no idea what addiction was about because I'd never touched a drug. So the funny part about it is that I had all these friends saying, "You're such a goody two shoes, Hal. Why would anybody care about what you have to say about addiction and drugs? You've never touched a drug, And then, but somehow, the screenplay turned out well. I got a good grade on it. And I remember I directed a scene of it in my theater class. So I got to direct. That's pretty cool too. And it turned out really well. And the best validation, affirmation, whatever you want to call it, was when this gal came up to me and she was like, I loved your screenplay. I love that scene that you directed. And I was like, "Oh, thank you very much." And she goes, "No, you don't understand. I loved it." I was like, "Oh, okay, that's okay, great. It's getting a little weird." And then she was like, "Well, you don't understand. I'm a recovering junkie. And again, never touched a drug in my life." And she goes, "Your words were so real to me." And she just grabs me and hugged me. She goes, "That was my life." And I was like, "Whoa, okay, all right, maybe I'm onto something." So apparently I needed to do some research. And I ended up becoming an addict myself. So I took the class again, in my senior year, the screenwriting class. I took it first in my freshman year, then in my my senior year of college. Sorry, had some energy drink a little bit earlier, a little bit. Woo! So I wrote a second screenplay, but I was completely high off my ass, and I was chain smoking cigarettes, and I might have been inebriated too, drunk. And I've talked about this before in previous podcasts, but I read it and I just cringe. It is so terrible. I mean, it doesn't know whether it wants to be like a Nora Ephron comedy, romantic comedy, or just a slapsticky comedy, or a Chuck Norris movie at certain points, or a Van Damme movie. It just has no direction. But the third screenplay, I think, is probably my strongest, but it's unfinished. So I guess what I'm getting at is, you have these ideas of what you want to do when you grow up. And I even remember at one point, I was watching Chicago Hope, and I wanted to be a heart surgeon. And then I actually, watched video footage of people getting heart surgery, and I was like, nope, not doing that. It's not happening. So the question remains, what do I want to be when I grow up? I mean, I've worked in customer service, or some degree of customer service, or help, assist help desks, that kind of thing. But I've never really, none of my dreams have really come to fruition, as a regular ongoing career, most of the times that I've actually done the things that I wanted to do when I grew up have been mainly hobbies. I'm not making money on this podcast. I clearly, there's still work to be done. It's still a work in progress. But I think this is something that I'm really happy doing. And I think that's kind of the important thing is knowing, asking yourself, are you happy? And the thing is, I'm pretty happy. I mean, as I said before, I've got an amazing life. I got an amazing wife, and I've got a dog. And I've got a cat who's kind of a see you next Tuesday, but we won't, but she's, I mean, I don't even know where to go with that. I mean, she bites me all the time, and then I think half the time, her sinuses are so congested that you're just yeah, she's running out of the room. She knows I'm talking about her. That half the time I think she's gonna just drop dead because she can't breathe. The reason I bring up all this stuff is because we have a fantastic guest who has had, cats. Like I was talking about my cat. Cats have 9 lives. My guest today, her name is Joanna Kay. She's I can't say she's a hero to me, but she has had so many different careers. I mean, she's been an archaeologist. She's she's been in Indiana Jones. She's been David Caruso on CSI. She's been a CSI once. She did some stand-up comedy, so she was like Jerry Seinfeld, and now she's an actress, and she's just fantastic and this amazing person with such a diverse set of careers. I don't, so I can't compete. I can't compete with that, as far as work and jobs go. But I'm really excited to talk to her. She and I we go way back. We grew up together, and we've remained friends over the years. And she has clearly done everything she's ever wanted to do, and there's no jealousy behind it. I think it's amazing. I think it's awesome that somebody can just morph into anything they want to be. I have a total amount of respect for that. So anyway, without further ado, this is gonna be a phone interview because she's in Pacific time as it were. She's 2 hours behind me, and I'm within the next few moments, I'm gonna dial her up, and we're gonna have a conversation. So enjoy the show. All right, so Joanna Kay. All right, so I was talking about earlier before you came on, I've had so many things that I've wanted to do with my life, and then I look at you and I'm like, I've gotten married. That's pretty cool. I mean, my wife's probably thinking fuck you, but anyway, but no, but yeah, no. So all right, so I've gotten married. I've been a drug addict. Let's see what else. We bought a house, and I work in customer service. And you've been an archaeologist, right? You've been a CS. You've been a what's that?
For a short time, until I realized after one summer of it that that's probably not what I want to do.
Really? What made you decide that you didn't want to do it?
Well, first of all, going back to your, things that we both have done, I've never been married. Just different strokes for different folks, I suppose. I've done drugs. I suppose I've never been addicted to them.
You see me pretty bad. I mean, I remember there was this time we went over some dude's house and I was really high, and then I remember Yeah, there. You've seen me pretty bad in some pretty bad places. But yeah, no. So you ended up becoming a CSI though, right? Or like a
Yeah, so my undergrad is anthropology and classics, and then I started doing archaeology after my undergrad, and while I was doing that, it was in Israel through a UNO program. Actually, Dr. Rami Rav, he led this dig, and it's a lot of geology and a lot of tedious digging. And my biggest issue was that it's all conjecture until you find the next thing, but that conjecture is something that you have to build a life of. You have to build a story. You have to take the clues around you to build a story and work from that. And it's so and then the story changes as you find new things that make it go in a different direction. And it was so difficult for me to wrap my mind around just like really sticking by something and really like putting my faith into one story that essentially I have built based off of what I found. And that became hard for me to defend in my mind, and that combined with all the geology and diagramming and things that I don't love so much,
it just wasn't working for you.
I felt like, and a life in academia, I
Yeah.
didn't think was what I wanted to go for.
Yeah.
So I was already abroad, so I just went out traveling. And one day my mom, she calls me, and she says that she saw something really cool on the news.
Yeah.
That there was called a forensic anthropologist who made an identification on some human skeletal remains in a park, and it gave that family closure. And I was like, whoa, what a cool thing to be able to do.
That's awesome.
And very specialized way to be able to help your community. So that's what set me on the path to forensic anthropology and crime scene investigation. So I ended up getting into a master's program.
That's crazy.
In England, so that's how that path kind of opened up.
Wow. God. Seriously, just listening to that, I think, I know different strokes for different folks, but I'm just like, I worked for a help desk for 10 years, and you were being Indiana Jones, and David Caruso. Did you wear like shades of justice? Did you hunch over bodies and be like, so looks like this guy's had his just desserts?
Basically, yep.
Oh wow.
Sticking my finger and everything and tasting it. Yeah, and
and now I got weird.
And then, whatever. You gotta do what you gotta do.
You gotta do what you gotta do, right?
You
yeah.
gotta test it out.
Yeah. So.
But it's not as glamorous as the TV shows make it out to be.
Really? What was like the most like heinous thing that you had to do in that job? Well, not heinous, but
I have one kind of horror story from my archaeology, and then a story that I like to share from Omaha, from the CSI days. The archaeology one is I found this amazing little Egyptian figurine.
Yeah.
And I had documented it, diagrammed it, everything, and I had put it in the bib of my overalls.
Sorry.
Before, until I walked it. Are overalls funny to you, Hal?
Overalls are there's nothing funny about overalls.
There's nothing funny about it. They're great. It's a great article of clothing, which they're very trendy now.
Are they? I'm wearing sweatpants and a long sleeve t-shirt, and then I'm gonna probably wear my wolf Sherpa coat with a wolf hood. So, yeah, your overalls.
It's Minnesota. It's chilly there. You gotta.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Please continue. I want to hear more about this thing with your overalls.
So I
Or your
Yes,
bib?
I had the figurine in the bib of my overalls.
Yeah.
I got to take it to, the place where we put things that we find and organize them. I ended up going to the restroom and I undid my overalls, bib down. Whoops, didn't actually put it in the correct bin. I kept it in my overalls. It goes crashing to the floor.
Oh my God.
Shatters. And I'm like, no! And it ended up, it's, okay, no, there's nothing that makes that okay. However, because it shattered, we were able to see that it was previously broken and mended using, they pour metal into the cracks.
Oh wow.
And set up that way, pre-glue.
Gorilla Glue, yeah.
Pre-Gorilla Glue, yeah. Pre-duct tape,
Yeah.
The pre-duct tape ages. And so we were able to see how this figurine was previously mended. So it ended up being kind of a cool thing. And then as far as CSI, well, the thing that actually I ended up quitting, I had a couple of child cases that were...
yeah, that's rough.
That were disturbing. And
yeah.
The one story that is, it's not a good story, so to speak, because it does involve a suicide. There was an older gentleman who there weren't any tracks in and out of his house. It was snowing outside, and his neighbors noticed that there weren't any prints going in or out, so they called the police for to check the well-being, and it was found that he had committed suicide. But they call CSI to anytime somebody passes not in the hospital.
Yeah, like unnatural causes.
Yeah, even if it's natural causes, but in a home, they still call people out just to be sure.
Right.
And sometimes it depends on the situation, but so this particular case, and I wasn't even at the crime scene. I came in the shift right after, and I was going through the photos of the previous evening to see what we were dealing with, and any evidence that comes in. And it was this case. So he had it's really interesting because he had a space heater on. So half of his body, it had been about 2 weeks. Half of his body was a little mummified because of the dryness of the winter, combined with the space heater on so close to part of his body, and then there was a huge hole in his chest with fur all around the hole.
What?
And then there were little bloody puppy paw prints.
Oh no!
And
it's like Game Night.
What was that?
It's like the movie Game Night.
I haven't seen it.
Okay. Continue, please.
So you'll have to at the end of the story, you'll let me know. Is that with Jason Bateman?
It is, yeah.
I haven't seen it. But,
God, it's the funniest movie I've seen in years. But please continue with the mummified corpse that you were talking about with the doggy.
Yes,
prints.
He had left, and then they found a note that said something along the lines of, "Please make sure Harry and Sally are taken care of."
Oh no!
Of course, he didn't think it was going to be that long of a time before he was discovered. So the Harry and Sally, two little pugs, ran out of food. So the owner, at the end of the day, was able to still
provide sustenance.
But then they wanted to adopt these dogs out, but they couldn't hide their backstory. So I saw later on the news. I don't know if it was the Humane Society. I don't remember who put it out or what the news story was, but they had these two dogs, and people had known what happened. So they wanted to show these dogs. They wanted to get these dogs adopted out together because they were raised together.
Yeah. Oh God, this is not going to end well. I can.
No, it does. It does end well.
Okay. Okay. Good.
Man and his family, unfortunately, but his dogs at least were well taken care of after this. They had a little news story, and they had a bowl of dog food, and they had this fake human arm that they were poking the dogs with to show that the dogs still went to the bowl of dog food as opposed to the fake human arm. I think somebody, a family in Indiana, adopted those dogs, so
Go Indiana.
they're doing well.
Okay,
But
good.
one of them more, I don't know, it was an interesting, there were a lot of factors in that one.
Whenever there's a story involving like I was in a 12-step meeting. We won't. I usually try not to say which 12-step group I was at. But whenever I go to I went to a 12-step meeting, and this guy was talking about a dog and how he went to go take it out to shoot it with his rifle. Perfectly normal dog. And like the whole time I was like, I swear to God, man, if you fucking say you killed a dog, I'm gonna kill you, and then I'm gonna leave this meeting because it sucks. So I'm really glad that story ended well, because I actually thought, I've actually thought about starting like a website where like anytime there's a movie where there's like animal mistreatment, it gets like between 1 to 4 bones, like, and the name of the site would be, but does the dog die?
Yeah.
So like I said, you have no idea how relieved I had, like a huge amount of anxiety you telling me that story just now. Like I was really afraid those dogs were going to get euthanized. So
Everything, isn't that funny watching horror movies?
Yeah.
Humans die, whatever. But
I could give two shits about humans dying.
Like, oh no, you didn't.
Yeah, exactly. No, I've seen children, I've seen men, I've seen women, I've seen men and women and children get like mauled and like and like but then they move to the dog, and I'm just like, I swear to God, if you fucking kill that dog, I swear to God, this movie is done. So yeah, good. I think we've established now that I'm a dog person. If it were a cat, I might not. I might have been a little bit more okay with that. I have a cat. I was saying earlier, she's a little bit of a see you next Tuesday. She bites me all the time. So I don't like saying the C word.
Your fault.
What?
It's probably your
It
fault.
is. As it happens, it's usually when we come back from a trip. She's like, you motherfuckers just left me.
Well, because nobody's been playing with them, so they have all this pent up like hunting energy and aggression. They're just animals.
Great, so now you're a cat expert too. So I'm just kidding.
I watch a lot of Jackson Galaxy.
Oh, okay.
So I'm very much a cat expert.
Oh, okay. All right. So, all right. So you went from like looking at like dead bodies and shit and then you decided, hey, I'm packing it up. I'm gonna be a stand-up comic now.
There was one step in between there.
Oh, okay.
I was at the point where I was doing with the CSI, expert witness stuff, and I was working overnights and on call all the time, and I had a couple child cases, and I just felt like I felt that the things that I did had too much of an impact. Like I just had this overwhelming stress. Like if I mess something up in the lab, or if there's my job is never to make anybody innocent or guilty. It's to record what's there and what's not there.
Okay,
and,
sure.
Process things in lab. But if there was something there and I didn't find it, or what have you, and now some rapist is like going around continuing to rape children, and that's my fault. Like I can't. Like that is not something I could handle.
Right.
So I had a bit of a nervous breakdown and needed a job that had no bearing on anybody or anything, that nobody actually cared about. So I thought, hey, digital media sounds pretty good.
Nothing wrong with there, yeah.
It actually ended up moving me out to San Francisco. So I started working at Yahoo doing account management, and because they had offices everywhere, I wanted to live, and I didn't want to have to decide where to move, and I didn't want to have to pay for it.
Right.
And I did a job that paid me money that didn't have any like huge repercussions if I messed up.
That's a good way to go.
And within a year, I was in San Francisco.
Okay, and that it's like
what?
That was basically
what got me to San Francisco.
Okay.
Are you familiar with Sketchfest?
I'm not. Does it involve sketch comedy?
It does.
So then.
Lots of forms of comedy. Yeah, I guess it's kind of self-explanatory. But all my favorite comedic actors were there, and I
Really?
was inspired to be like, wait a tick. I don't want to just, be an appreciator of this world. I want to be part of it. So I started taking acting classes.
Yeah.
Within my first year in San Francisco, and I was in my first play after about a year, and I was like, wait a second.
This might be it.
Yeah, like, this is how a human can feel? I was just a passionless person, and so then I was like, well, I don't have time for both of these things, Yahoo and acting. So
Passion.
I quit.
Yeah.
I quit my job and dove in.
God, I respect you so much.
I dived in because it's a human doing a thing. Is that dive?
You know what? This is a podcast, man. Let's just go with whatever.
Yeah. I jumped in head first.
Yeah, you jumped head. You were like head over feet like Alanis.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. But you did that stand-up routine, though, right? So, here, hold on. Let's put a pin on that. You said all of your favorite comic actors are there. Can you who was there?
So basically, did you ever watch The State on MTV?
I did. I didn't watch The State, but I know all the players of The State. I remember. I know. I've seen enough of it. I wasn't a regular watcher, but I know enough of it to know who. Some of the big like Michael Showalter and like Thomas Lennon and yeah.
Exactly, and David Wain.
Yep.
And Michael
No shit. Oh man.
Yeah, and they were kind of my two worlds were colliding. There was a Yahoo original program called Burning Love, which was a spoof of The Bachelor show, and that included a lot of the guys from The State, Joe Truglio and Ian Black, and it was Ken Marino.
Ken Marino, I love Ken Marino.
And there was like I don't know, have you seen Children's Hospital?
Yes, I have, yeah. Rob Corddry is in that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There was a panel for that, and I just, I was in love with the camaraderie of it, with the creativity, with the, being able to relax into your own style of comedy and make something that makes people feel good. It's such an escape, and I was like, wouldn't that be cool to do for other people? And so that my foray into stand-up was that idea was like, well, these people, a lot of the people that I love met doing either, stand-up or sketch comedy, so that's kind of the first place I went to see if, to end up meeting people and collaborate, and then it veered from comedy into more, I suppose, straight acting.
Yeah. I watched your IMDb. You actually cried on cue in one of the things. You sold me. I mean, and you wrote your whole bio in the third person.
I did, yeah.
You're gonna laugh, but I thought about that I thought about your thing, writing it in the third person, and I was like, I should change all the summaries of my podcast to third person, so that way people will actually think that I've got like some sort of assistant in the background, like doing shit for me, but it's just me.
And they just like you're like far too busy to like write your own bio. Like you have to have like somebody else do it.
Yeah.
Or just like chomping at the bit to be able to talk about you.
Yeah.
But I did confess at the end that it was me.
I know. I saw that. I was very impressed. That took a lot of honesty to do that.
Thank you for recognizing that.
You're very welcome. I do what I can. So you had to find a new drug dealer, right? And then you had the cheese balls, and then you became an actress.
Yeah. It took a lot of. I go to Beverly Hills Playhouse in San Francisco.
Yeah.
It's a scene study class.
Yeah.
And from my first happy to say I've grown a lot. I remember the first scene I put up, there was a physical, like, haze over my eyes. It was like I couldn't see all of a sudden, like I was blacking out, and immediately after the scene ended, I, like, had very little recollection of what had happened.
Wow,
So that was my first scene. It was a scene from Misery.
Mr. Man. The cock-a-doodle car.
Exactly. It's difficult. It was a slow going. I by no means had natural talent, but I'm a good study. So
yeah.
I learned quickly. So.
I minored in theater.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I did. I minored in theater, and I was doing really well, and I actually I wrote a screenplay, right? And I was talking about this in my intro, and I actually had the opportunity to direct a whole scene and perform the scene with another one of my acting peers, and that was pretty cool because I had some, I got some cool validation. And this is, as I mentioned in my intro, I had never touched a drug in my whole life, and the whole movie is about addiction, which is weird. So at that point, I was Mr. Goody Two Shoes at that point. So it was like 2001, 2002, something like that. And this gal comes up and is like, "Oh my God, I loved your work." And I was like, "Okay, that's awesome, thank you." And she was like, "No, you don't understand." And I'm like, "Okay, all right, back off, man. I'm a scientist," kind of thing. And she was like, "You don't understand." And she just hugs me. And she goes, "I used to be a junkie. I'm a recovering junkie, and your words were so real." And I was like, and like we started crying together, and it was like this amazing scene. But then I went into my final acting class, or I don't know if it was directing or acting, but the night before I was supposed to perform, I had everything ready to go, right? I had all my lines, everything was good. I was acting with this really flamboyantly gay actor who's an amazing performer. Not that has not that it has anything to do with it. But we played partners. We played in the scene. We played like two gay lovers. And the night before, I made the mistake of smoking from a bong for the first time. And yeah, so it's like all the stuff that I had like memorized, like just decided to go out with the bong smoke out my ear. And so I
out of your ear.
What?
Nothing. Sorry.
No. I had. It was like it was like a Kelly Bundy on Married with Children thing. Like for every one thing that goes into my head, something comes out. So like I smoked from a bong and I forgot all my lines and I had to basically improv. And at the end of the performance, like my acting partner was just he was like livid, just absolutely livid with me, understandably so. And the acting teacher, the directing teacher, was just like, "I'm guessing not all that was supposed to happen." And I'm like, yeah, probably, yeah, maybe on to me, but I don't remember what grade I got. But I just remember that when I'm doing the 12 steps, you have to make amends, right? So I've decided to make amends by having I found my acting peer, and I'm gonna have him on the show because he's done a lot of stuff since then. So yeah, he's a really, really wonderful wonderful performer. But yeah, so you're acting, you're like an actress now. You're like a cat. You've had like 9 lives, or maybe like 4 lives.
Well, I never did acting in high school. I tried out for like a solo for something, and it was that little like movie thing where a squeak comes out and then you run off the stage. And I found this paper about how I was like I want to be an actor, but I'm too shy, and so I never did anything high school or college. It's just moving to a new city and then being inspired after seeing all my favorites that I finally jumped in, like we decided. I'm a professional actor. And
You
like
are an actor, yeah.
you know, it's how I pay my rent, and it's like, it's been amazing. I feel very fortunate that so many people have been saying yes to me.
Yeah.
And I just, you know, I've been working my butt off. It's been my job and my hobby.
Yeah.
For 5 years, and I'm happy with the the progression, but you know, I have a long way to go before it's like,
well, you know, we all
time, you know.
yeah, well, we all have our our journeys. I mean, I was talking to my friend. I don't know if you know her. Her name is Wendy Kaut, and she used to be a writer for Mork and Mindy. She was, I think, one of the only female writers on that staff. Don't ask how we know each other, but I wrote a piece on she wrote the screenplay to a movie that was in theaters very briefly, and then it was on Netflix, called Dorfman in Love, and it starred Sarah Rue and this other. But anyway, she also created this show called Anything But Love with Jamie Lee Curtis and Richard Lewis, and so anyway, I got to interview her, and she and I have stayed in touch, and like it's really, I don't know, it's really cool to just find, like, learn new things, because she knew Robin Williams before she, back in the day, and but no, like, like, Joanna, like, I am so, like, super proud of you, and I'm not like trying to gush like a little fanboy, but like, I'm like super proud of you. You've done like so much stuff, and like, and like I said, we all have our own journeys. Like I said, I decided to take up drugs as a profession, and and clean myself up, and now I live kind of a what, if you want to call it a normal life. There's really no such thing as normal these days. I mean, my wife and I have been married for oh wow 9 years. If we're going legally, because we got married legally, and so it's been 9 years legally, more than 9 years, a little bit over, like 9 years and 3 months, and then like we got married in the synagogue in St. Paul, Mendota Heights. So we've been married 8 years, and then we've got we moved from. My wife is an occupational therapist, so she clearly is the brains of the operation. I just kind of I'm when it comes to our relationship, this was the criteria that I needed for her to like fall in love with me. She was like, "Do you like sports? No. Do you play sports? No." She's like, "Okay, yeah, you're good. Well, you're good." And so no, I mean this, but this podcast, I mean, it's obviously not my job. I don't get paid for it, but like it's become my little pet, It's like it's my passion, and I don't think I've ever been more passionate about anything in my life than since I started this thing. Like it's driving my wife fucking nuts because it's all I talk about. It's all I do, and like she's listened to, I think, about 3 of them, and like I'm like, and I'm really glad that my parents don't listen to a lot of them, because I talk a lot about, I'm super anti-Trump, and and my parents, they're conservatives. We'll just go that. We'll leave. But no, like we just it's been fun doing this thing, and I got to interview Rachel Shukert.
She's my hero right now. Like,
yeah.
I'm obsessed with Glow. It's
right. Oh my god.
It's amazing writing, amazing acting.
Oh my god.
Like everything.
I think every episode I talk about it. Every podcast episode I bring up Glow. There's actually you can create.
Show to be on.
What's that?
It's like my dream show to be on.
You should. I have her number. No, I'm just kidding. I'll hook you up, man. No, no. She was nice enough. she apparently she had just put her kid to bed, and it was like super like for me it was super late. It was like 9 p.m. 9:30 that like we did the interview, and I take a lot of meds, so I like by the end of the conversation I'm pretty much like, okay, yeah, that sounds really good. But yeah, like no, like I watched that show and I'm like, all I remember is that she and I were in like a Jewish Community Center performance of The Odd Potato, back in the day, and now she's like writing for Glow, and she wrote for Supergirl, and she wrote for she's done.
I remember even she's not that much older than I am. They're only a few years difference or something.
Yeah, same here.
Youngish and reading, articles that she had written in, gosh, I can't remember now if it was like Tablet Mag or Hebe. I don't know. She had written about, and I like went home to visit my mom. I don't think she knew about that one, but there's some like article about blowjobs, and I'm like, wow, like
yeah,
like
she goes there,
and like there, I don't know. I think that was the first inkling of like, oh, doing something with your life and like stating your opinions and being out there, like that's not for other people, that's for you. Like you can be born and raised in Omaha in your conservative Jewish community, and you can go on to like have your own voice, and that's
right.
Growing up, that's something I thought that was for other people,
Nah.
So that it was, yeah, it's just been really refreshing to see what she has done and continues to do.
As with you, I mean, like, like here, I'll be completely honest. I've seen your demo video, and there's one where you're like wearing a nurse's costume, and then there's like one where you're like crying, and then and I was just like, I want to see more. Like, there's just not enough, So, can you cry on cue? I mean, you don't have to do it now, but I mean, have you gotten to that point?
I mean, yeah, for the most part. There's always some situations where you don't get the emotional life you're hoping for. But,
yeah. That's me. Sure. I'm just kidding.
I mean, for the most part, with my performances, I've been much more consistent with pulling off what I've actually planned to do, and I'm accessing my emotions has been easier and easier.
Yeah.
And things are evolving, things are progressing, starting to get
we've
more lead roles and and features, and a lot of it's all independent work, but it's been fun. I've never been proud of myself or had those feelings of like, hey, I'm doing a good job, or like
right.
Tooting your own horn, so to speak.
I am full of self-loathing, and I'm feeling good.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty self-loathing, as most people are. I'm my own worst critic.
Yeah. We are Jewish, so,
Yeah,
it's part of the gig.
Yeah. And this is the first time in my life that I've been able to be like, I'm getting good at a thing. Like this, I feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be and doing what I'm supposed to be doing, which I don't know what that means, supposed to be, but
nobody knows what they're supposed to be doing.
I have that I've never had in my entire life. So it's a very cool feeling.
Yeah.
And I've never been a dreamer. I'm always realist, borderline pessimist. So for me to be in this career, that's a very much I've always seen as like, this is for a person with their head in the clouds, or an optimist dreamer. I love inhabiting this space where I know I'm not that, but it still feels very real and accessible to me. So.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, I love your parents. I don't know if you knew this, but your dad signed our ketubah.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, he kind of fucked it up a little bit. He wrote on the wrong line, And so I don't know if I think it's still there. I don't know if you can use whiteout on a Katuba, but there's like an L where there's not supposed to be an L, and we're just like, it was part of the journey. Like,
it stands for love.
Yeah, there you go.
You got an extra L for love.
Exactly.
Everything's how it should be.
Yeah. So yeah, but no, it was really cool. I mean, your parents have been a huge part of my life. I mean, growing up, and I remember playing with you and Jennifer. I'm sorry to bring that up. Is it okay to talk about Jennifer?
Yeah, of course.
I just remember playing in the front yard with you and Jennifer, and like you had some neighborhood friends, and like we just had such a good time back in the day,
Yeah, I remember. I feel like my strongest memory was watching Willow.
Yes.
Was it just one time and that movie just had such a profound impact on me, or did we watch Willow like a lot? Like, I don't know.
I feel like we watched it a lot. Yeah, that like I love that movie, but my wife, like, it traumatized her, so I remember buying Willow on Blu-ray for like $9.99. She was like, "That is not going to be in our fucking house at all." And then and so I was like, "It's Willow," and she's like, "No."
Get that thing out of
Yeah,
here.
get it out of here. No, nightmare fuel. So yeah, but I mean, as far as like how have your parents handled all these different transitions? I mean, have they handled it with grace, or are they just like, what the fuck are you doing?
They have been so supportive.
That's awesome.
They paid for my college.
Yeah.
Like, I worked a bunch of jobs to pay all my rent and living expenses and,
sure.
and save. But I was extremely fortunate and forever grateful that they made a plan and had the means to do this for me. So I when I ended up having my job in CSI, forensic anthropologist, they were very proud, and that's a job you can brag about to your friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Like, that's cool. It's a cool profession.
Yeah.
Popularized by the media is why people think it's so cool.
Right. Yeah.
And so when I kind of had my breakdown and made a decision to lead a life that wasn't terrible and quit, I did have a lot of flashback, and understandably, they paid for my education leading up to that career. It was a good career that it was through the sheriff's office, so
right.
You have the pension stuff, and all parents want the best for their kids.
Right.
And it seemed like a safe route financially, and stable, good career, and in addition, you're helping. So
yeah.
all the things are there that a parent would want for their child, with the exception of happiness and leading a mentally healthy life.
It's good. Good way to go.
When I quit that and went to Yahoo, Yahoo, I was making a lot of money, so they were supporting that switch. That still, it's a big company.
Yeah.
And then when I made the switch to acting, there was still a lot of them letting me know when a position at the sheriff's office opened up.
Yeah.
Or asking if I've looked into San Francisco PD to find a job.
Wow.
Or easy, nice nudges in
right.
that they would rather see me go in, perhaps. But when I quit Yahoo, I had been working like 16-hour days. Like, I was
Jesus.
going completely nuts. Like, I never wanted to talk to my family. Like, I just between like 10 and 16. It wasn't, they were 16-hour days, but they were like it got pretty ridiculous. And I was just stressed out and working over the weekends, and when I switched to acting, the weight that was lifted off of me, and the joy that I was experiencing, and I booked a commercial, a national commercial, like, right away. And
so wow.
That kind of dumb luck at the beginning, with like quick, easy success in the beginning. My parents really saw a marked difference
Yeah.
And I think, and they've expressed to me just seeing me happy has been, really all they need to support this decision. And I got a card a few months ago for no reason at all. They just sent me a card expressing how, I mean, they tell me verbally, but like, card was just like telling like me how much they love me and how much they support me and how proud of me they are. And I, of course, cried reading it.
Of course.
When I'm pooping. That's
Wait,
where
what?
In the bathroom, So I'm just sitting on the toilet crying these happy tears, and
Are you on the toilet right now?
No, but I could be. You would hear too much of an echo. You can't pull off a Skype meeting.
Where are you right now? What room?
I'm in a kitchen.
Okay, good. All right, just want to make sure. I didn't.
But you can't be sure if I'm wearing pants or not.
This is true. Yeah. No. I don't.
They're super supportive, and they're like bragging about their actor child, which I feel
their
like
actor
is not something
child.
many parents would do. But I'm getting so much support from them.
Yeah, I've pretty much gotten very little support with my podcast, but like I said, like in fact, I was talking to my mother-in-law, I love my mother-in-law. She's great. But I said to her, she was like, so how are, like, she was here at Thanksgiving. She was, so how are you doing? I was like, hey, I started a podcast. And she's like, oh, what is that? And I'm like,
I don't really know what it is.
And I was just like, it's basically a radio show that goes on the internet. She's like, oh, okay. And I'm like, yeah, that went vroom, right over her head, and she's like, very.
Have motivation and creativity, and a lot of people don't realize how much work it takes to do what you're doing. And it's like they just don't know.
Yeah, well, I think the hardest part of it is really, I mean, honestly, finding the people like you, and doing the. I don't really even think of them as interviews. I mean, to be completely honest with you, I mean, like right now, you and I are just talking like regular people. I mean, I'm asking some questions, but like we're just we're just having a little combo, But yeah, but like I think for me the hardest part is the post quote unquote post production where you have to edit things and like you have to because like when I started this, like I had no idea what I was doing. I had a mic. And I was like, okay, now what the fuck do I do? Like, do I plug it in this? I guess I plug it in the computer. So I had to research like what's good, sound, what has, as far as like not broadcasting, but like recording. I record on Audacity, and then I have to edit out shit that most of the stuff that you and I are talking about right now. It's all going to be, nothing's getting cut. But the stuff that I talk about, because when I do my intro, I'm usually like, I have to edit out all those pregnant pauses and like, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's, I like I said, I've driven my wife mad, obsessing over it. And I'm very, very, like, I've never been a perfectionist at all in my life until now. Like, I've always been kind of like, whatever. If the gate's open, something, somebody will escape. I don't know. Anyway. But yeah, no, I mean, this is something like I've been really focused on and it's worked out pretty well. I mean, I've had some really good interviews and some of them have been really awkward, and this has been a good one. I think we're doing pretty well. I'm really excited that we did Skype. I mean, this is amazing because not only can I, my best interviews are the ones where I can actually see the person. Like on the phone, it's really like what I was actually doing was literally getting a selfie stick, taping the fucking selfie stick to the edge of the table. And putting it on, I'm like, okay, you're on, and like just put it on speaker, and it's very, very grainy, and you can, but but it's really it's been fun. It's been fun, and like just like you said, I mean, when it's something that that you're passionate about, then yeah, I mean, like that, it. I still have my job, at the company that I work for, which I still will never say on air, but you probably know. Maybe you don't. I don't know. But I work in customer service for a big company.
Is it the same company that you've been at for a very long time?
Well, I was working at Marriott for a very long time.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, it's not Marriott, and it's way better. We'll just leave it there. Yeah. So, but yeah, nothing. I worked at Marriott, but I do not talk about my current job simply because I'm just like, I curse a lot and I say things that probably would.
You get to separate yourself.
Yep. So, but no, I'm actually working from home now for my job. So it's kind of like sometimes, I thought it'd be like an amazing thing working from home, and to a certain extent it is, but like there's no transition. You know what I mean? Like when you're working in a brick and mortar building, you're just kind of like, oh, I guess I can get in my car and drive home, right?
Yeah.
Play your music, play the soundtrack to Star Is Born, whatever, right? And and then you get I'm sorry, I'm in love with that soundtrack. That I haven't even seen the movie. I'm in love with the soundtrack to A Star Is Born. Anyway, but you have that trend, that like division between work and home, that to decompress and compartmentalize. But when you're at home, you're just like, I'm sitting in my office upstairs, and then I'm just like, it's over, and I'm like, I guess I'll go start making dinner now. I'm still wearing my sweatpants and my long sleeve t-shirt. It's like, and it's just like I don't. It's just a weird. There's just no division, but it's.
On days that I've worked from home, like you wake up and you're in the same, like I've gone without like showering or changing my clothes for like 3 days.
Me too.
Like covered in cheese ball dust, like I talked about, because you're typing, so you don't want to touch them and get cheese all over your fingers.
Right.
You're working on your computer, so you're just taking the thing straight to your face, and then the dust on your face just coating your eyebrows, and it's a mess. It's a mess working from home. I think you have to have a specific routine and be disciplined enough to make those separations yourself.
Yeah.
So it's important to actually act as if you're going to leave the house.
Yeah, maybe I should just do like a dance, like a hamster dance or something, like the little hedgehog dance, or what is it with Caddyshack? What was it, the little
groundhog?
What was it? Yeah, maybe I do a little groundhog dance, like when I'm done or something like that. But but for me, I just I really I enjoy it, but like I said, it's been a tough transition because like you said, I'll be working for a whole week, and and then I remember I was walking in the car, and it was like a Friday, and I said to my wife, I said, I think this is literally the first time I've been outside in the whole week.
Yeah.
And she was like, we need to work on that.
Yeah, it's like you lose track of what's appropriate to wear outside your house. So you're just in a certain thing for so long.
I know. I just wear sweats everywhere I go now. It's just it's madness, and
yeah, there's a degradation that happens. It's
yeah, but otherwise, but yeah, no. Well, I was gonna say, yeah, but I try with this podcast. I mean, when I'm on my hour lunch break, sometimes what I'll do is I'll just, I'll have everything ready and I'll just go on a 15-20 minute riff, some of my episodes are just me going solo, and talking about, just talking about different issues, things that are going on in my life. As I said, I did one on a whole, suicide prevention episode, and then there was I forget. Yeah, and it's just it's been fun. It's and I do have a therapist, a working therapist, another person that is not my podcast that I go see, and who prescribes me meds. But this is about as close to free therapy as you get. You know what I mean? Like, so go me, progress. Yeah. Yeah, so it's really weird because like normally I suffer from generalized anxiety disorder, and it's like like in like a different era of my life this would never have come to pass, because I would have been just like, I don't know what I'm doing, and to a certain extent I'm still learning, but now like I have this a little bit more confidence where I can be like, I'm like booking different people, quote unquote booking different people, and like, most of them are local people. Some of them are, like I said, are Rachel, and some of them are, Wendy Cout, and, but it's, yeah, and it's just a lot of fun. I mean, like I said, I'm a curious person, and I love learning about new things and different people, and, and we're having a good run, and it's not going anywhere anytime soon. But I'm so grateful that you were able to come on the show, and and even if you are afar, but yeah, I mean, as far as I always say, do you have any parting words at all? Any words of wisdom as far as just people who are just kind of drifting or not, or just want to get into acting or comedy or whatever?
It's hard because everybody's path is so different. And, as much as I would have liked to have started an acting career earlier,
right.
I'm grateful for all the experiences that I've had through travel and my various careers. I've been in a lot of different environments. So I feel like that is all feeding into the acting. So everybody has a different path, but I would just say, whatever it is you want to do, just work as hard as you can at it. Like, just don't expect anything to come easy. Use all your resources. Don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yeah.
Sharing of knowledge and information is what's gotten me, pretty far, and just hard work is important. And I feel like a lot of people think that if there's that quote, if you're doing what you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
Right. No, yeah.
Like, such bullshit. The thought of okay, well, I want to dive in and do this thing that I love, to expect it to come easy or to not have to work, as hard as you possibly can is silly. So that's just what I would say. Hard work, but don't forget to lose sight that you are actually enjoying what it is that you're doing.
Yeah. Just to end on a really positive note, there was a time where I was really, really down and out one night, and you could have easily just been like, yeah, we'll see you later. But like you actually followed me home. Like, do you remember that? I was really high, and like we'd taken separate cars to this one person's house, and like I was like, yeah, I'll get home, and like you're like, no way, I'm following you home because I don't.
That sounds bad. I should have driven you home.
Well, you know what? I'm expressing my gratitude to you. Just take it. But I've been in a lot of I've had a lot of bad moments in my life, and a lot of people that just have said he's gonna do what he's gonna do, and so, but you actually were like, no, he needs help, so yeah, I really appreciate that, and like I said, I really appreciate everything, as far as just our friendship, and just I'm getting a little emotional. Jesus Christ! All right, I'm just glad that you're doing what you love, even though you're having to work your ass off, and like I said, like you said, we all have our journeys, and I'm a married guy, and wait a second, this isn't ending. This isn't just. I thought this was gonna end, but so are you? But this, see, this is why I love this, because I can end it whenever I want. I'm in control here, Joanna.
You are.
I'm in. So
you can take that section out and put it after whatever we're about
absolutely
to
not. No, that would not. That would there. You lose. No. So tell me. You said you had a boyfriend. He had a mic last night that you said you could hook into your computer. So how's that going?
Good. Well, first of all, I want to thank you for expressing, these well wishes towards me, and for telling me, how you felt about what I did that night. That means a lot to me. So thank you for revisiting that and letting me know. That's special.
Revisiting my drug ass days.
That was maybe one of the last times we hung out.
I think it was. Yeah.
Disappearing off the face of the earth once I started CSI.
Yeah.
And then even more so Yahoo.
Yeah. You could have arrested me at one point. Could you arrest people?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. Well then, all right.
Position, but it's possible that I could have been, if something happened, I could have been called to your apartment to collect drug paraphernalia.
Oh wow. All right. Well,
whatever.
you would never have found it, just for the record. I kept it very, 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 very private and very different.
What private area you kept it in?
Yeah. Full cavity search. Just kidding.
Yeah. Yes, that's something I did do, but that was voluntary. That had nothing to do with.
Oh, good for you. Good for you. Go get him. Go get him. All right, but yes.
So, yes, my partner, Justin Hamilton, is very special. We've been together since Omaha, so, maybe 9-ish years.
Holy shit.
I got that we were living together in Omaha, and I got the job in San Francisco, and he's a programmer, so it was...
Well, wow, good fit.
A job within a week, and he's been super supportive of my acting career, which is great. And so, because it has changed my financial income, and living in San Francisco is of course expensive and hard, but
no shit.
I've managed to pay rent and bills and a few other things, and he has really picked up the slack by
being a programmer
and food, and you know what I mean. So I'm still trying to keep it as even as possible. Definitely on the rent side, and then when we have some cheap dinner, I'm like, oh, I got it. So he's been just in a great emotional support. I'll come home after a terrible audition, and he's like, "You're the best," and I'm like, "Oh, thanks."
Yeah.
So it's been great. He's been a great support, and of course, he's just wonderful. And he's in the other room; he can hear everything I'm saying.
Really?
Have to say these things.
My wife is in the basement. That sounds really bad. She's not chained or anything, but she's she's doing something down there. Well, I'd say hi to your parents, but usually I talk to my parents, and they're the ones who usually I'll be like, hey, say hi to them, But
say hi to your parents, and I'll say hi to my parents.
Yeah,
for you.
I'm gonna close this with a really funny story, and your mom, I'm sure, will hate me for telling you that. It was either you, I think it was your bat mitzvah, but she had just gotten surgery on her nose.
Yeah, she had a rhinoplasty.
Yeah, rhinoplasty, and I remember I just thought that was the coolest thing. So everywhere I went, I was when she was at the house getting her nails done, at your bat mitzvah, I don't know if it was yours or Jennifer's, but I remember running around telling everybody, she got a nose job, she got a nose job, she got a nose job, and your mom had to pull me aside and basically you can't tell people that. That is not okay.
You need to calm down.
You need to calm down.
Child trap.
Oh my God, she like I thought the wrath of hell was gonna come down on me when she pulled me aside,
Wrath
like,
of Helen.
and well, yeah, there you go. Well, hey, yeah,
Hey,
well, no, that's the thing. Like, and like, I've never seen your mom mad. Like, and then I saw her mad, and I was like, I better not fucking say that ever again to anybody. Anybody who has surgery, I'm just gonna keep it. Even if it's like neck surgery, I'm just gonna like keep it under wraps because no, it's their business. It's their business. But anyway,
I will say I was not on the nose job train, but
you got a great nose.
I supported. Yeah, I loved her nose. She had like a very like pronounced. There was the bump, and like I just maybe it's because I'm like traditionally like ingrained
Jewish.
So, like, to just like think big noses are sexy, But I remember.
They are.
And
which is why I don't have one.
but she like the change that she went through and her comfort. She was so uncomfortable with it before, and just being able to feel comfortable sitting in the front row, or being able to like speak her mind and feel comfortable with people looking at her. Like those were the changes that she went through after her surgery. So I'm so glad that she kind of followed what she felt she would, how she would live a more comfortable life.
Yeah.
So in the end, it feels a good decision, which kind of is mirroring her support of me.
Yeah.
Just like making a change in your life that makes you a happier.
There you go. See?
More, mentally healthy person. I support that.
There you go. Hey, there you go. And that could have that whole story could have just really gone off the rails, and but no, you spun it around. You spun it around, and it became like a fairy tale. It became like this wonderful, inspiring story of the triumph of the human spirit. I have a nose job. That's great.
It's true.
See, who said you're not good at comedy? Yeah, well, hey, Joanna, thank you again. I send my love to you and your and your family, and thank you so much for being on the show. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your holiday season, and just be healthy and be happy, okay?
Yeah, I wish the same for you.
All right, bye, bye, Joanna.
Bye. Take care.
You too.
See ya.
And that, my friends, is Joanna Kay. And she is awesome, and she has done so many amazing things with her life. And I'm doing me. I'm doing me, And we all follow our own separate trajectory and our own private path. Private path. That sounds kind of. Anyway, I hope everybody enjoyed the show, and I hope all of you have a wonderful week moving forward. And as always, just take it one day at a time.